Good afternoon. We're just a couple minutes late. I hope you guys don't mind. It looks like a few more people signed in. If you can hear us, if someone, we just want to make sure everything's working properly. If someone wants to just send us a note to let us know that all is well, that would be great. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Barbara, thank you. It sounds like we have audio. We were a little touch and go there for a minute, but we're all good now. So we do want to go ahead and get started without any further ado. So we'd like to go ahead and welcome you to the CE Sponsor Portal webinar, and we'd like to introduce ourselves.
I'm Asika, the CE Administrator.
And I'm Joanna Truitt, Manager of Continuing Education and Experience.
We anticipate our webinar today to be about 20 minutes. Before we get started, we have one housekeeping note. If you have a question you'd like to ask, please type it into the Q&A text box on the right-hand side of the screen. We will address all questions at the end of the presentation.
So for today's webinar, we will focus on the revamped CE Sponsor Portal, which will go live early next month. And it's kind of hard to believe that July is right around the corner. In addition, we'll also discuss some of the changes for 2018. This will be our second redesign project in the last year, updating the online experience for our CE sponsors. The intent of these redesigns is to streamline and simplify our processes, eliminating the unpredictable for an error-free experience and putting the most used functions up front. Like the online attendance reporting tool, the design is intuitive enough that no real training is needed. Do it once and you've got it. Let's start with a tour of the new features that will be offered in the CE Sponsor Portal. The theme you'll see carried throughout the revamped site is, like we said, intuitively functional, which extends to the organizational management link.
Upon logging in, go to Manage Account, select Personal Profile, and then Change My Password on the right-hand side of the screen under Manage Setting. Enter and confirm your new password. Has your organization's address changed, or maybe you're going through a rebranding and need to adjust the organization's name? Changing your organization's details and contact information is now a straightforward process. Under Manage Account, select Organization Profile. This profile contains information tied to the individual who is defined as our primary contact. All correspondence from CFP Board regarding your CE sponsorship and programs are directed through this person. While you can edit the address, phone number, and email address by clicking Edit Organization, a change in the primary contact requires an email. We will make this change for you.
The new homepage for CE sponsors will contain everything you need to manage your membership and programs in a cleanly designed, easy to read and functional page. Program management will now be more transparent and user-friendly, and you'll be able to view programs entered but not yet paid, follow the review process from submission to approval, seamlessly respond to requests for more information through a document upload feature, and view and download your active programs.
This represents your new homepage. View the status of your sponsorship at the top of the page under Manage Sponsor Membership. This view offers a glimpse of how simple the renewal process will be. When we begin the renewal process in mid-October, you will be asked to log into your account and pay the sponsorship fee. The payment will be as simple as putting a check in the box and clicking Add to Cart and checking out. Once the sponsorship is paid, your start and end date as well as your active status will be displayed here. You will also be able to view and manage your sponsorship invoices. Under the Manage Program section, you will be able to view programs pending payment, programs under review, and programs with the status of active. Here is where you'll find the link to add a new program. Under the Manage Program Renewal section, you'll find the list of programs to renew for the following year. This list will populate after your sponsorship fee has been paid. We'll talk about this in more detail later in the presentation. Let's take a closer look at Manage Program section. Under your Pending Payment section will be a list of programs you have entered but not yet submitted. Notice the payment deadline field. If the application is not paid before the deadline, which is 30 days after the entry, it will be removed from your account. To pay for this program, you'll put a check in the box under Pay and proceed to check out. Once paid, your program then moves to Under Review. Here is where you'll be able to access the invoice for each program, program details, program type, payment date, and status, simply by clicking on the program title. If your program status needs more information, you will have received an email asking for specific documentation for the program. Click on the program title, scroll to the bottom of the page, and add your attachments. No more worry about large documents not coming through. Everything is now done through the system. Once your program is accepted, it will be moved immediately under the Active Programs tab. While programs under this tab are not sortable, you do have the ability to download into Excel a list of active programs, all your active programs. In addition, you have continued access to the invoice, program detail, program ID, and the payment information. You will notice the last column, which is entitled Budget Code. This is for your internal use only to help you keep track of program expenses. All the information you see in this view will appear on the Excel download.
As we were developing the new submission process, we kept coming back to a few questions. What type of information have CFP professionals been asking for to help them decide if a program is right for them? How can we as staff begin to identify content gaps, not only related to the topics under the principal knowledge domains, but also by level of complexity? Can we have a system determine CE hours automatically based on information you provide? What can we do to make it easier for you to submit multiple programs for a conference or an event? With these questions in mind, here are just a few of the new features we've added to the new sponsor portal. You'll now have access to the help icon, which will give you direction on what to include in several new fields. We have a field for the program URL that will display and find a CE program. While not required, if you do provide a URL, what you provide will take the CFP professional directly to the program information and/or registration link on your site, so they don't need to start their search from scratch. You'll now identify the principal knowledge topic domain that best identifies the content of your program. We've added a new drop-down where you'll identify the program subtype. Is this program a seminar, a webinar, e-learning course, conference session? The system will now auto-calculate credit hours for live and self-study programs based on information you've entered. You'll also now be able to identify which programs should be auto-renewed for the following year. And last, we simplified the conference submission process to make it much less time-consuming to enter sessions related to your particular conference. So let's do a quick tour of the Managed Programs page.
The process starts simply by clicking on Add a New Program. Complete all required fields highlighted in orange. You'll complete the standard fields, program title, description, and learning objectives. You'll add the principal knowledge topic domain from the drop-down list, add the optional program budget code for internal tracking of program expenses, and add the program subtype. The current subtypes we have for live programs are workshop/seminar, conference session, and live webinar. And for self-study programs, we have recorded webinar, article review, and e-learning online. Next, select your program window. Is it for the current year or a new program for the next year? Last, identify the program lifecycle. Should this program be renewed for the next year? Renewal invoices will be generated for programs that have been marked as current and future years. If the program application was submitted after the program start date for live programs or the initial offer date for self-study, the system will automatically assess a late fee and display the message you see here. According to the CE sponsor fee schedule, any program that is submitted retroactively for CE credit is considered late and subject to a $100 late fee in addition to the regular program application fees. The late fee will be assessed during the checkout. If you are submitting a live program, you will enter the total number of minutes to be considered for CE hour calculation. Once entered, the system will now determine the total requested hours. As you all know, for live programs, you must have at least 50 minutes of content to qualify for 1 CE hour. Please note, half-hour increments are accepted after the initial 1 hour of CE has been calculated. This will have an impact on your final program fee. A program determined to be 1.5 CE hours will be assessed the same rate as that of a 2 credit hour course. Is this program associated with the conference? If yes, put a check in the box and additional fields of information will appear. Complete this information just once. It will pre-populate for any program you add as a part of this conference. The conference information will appear under each program entry in Find a CE program search function. The CE calculation for self-study programs works in a similar manner. Add the word count and/or minutes tied to a pilot test, and the system will make the final determination of CE hours. The last section of each entry provides you with 2 new options. Click Save and Add Documentation to provide us with associated program materials. This is a section you'll come back to if you received a request for additional program information. The second feature is Save and Add Another Program, giving you the ability to seamlessly start another program submission. If the program status has been marked as Needs More Information, you will have received an email requesting for additional information regarding the program application. We require details regarding the content and context of the program's discussion to determine whether the program meets CFP Board's CE standards and requirements. In order to upload the requested documents, please click into the program title to access the Program Details page. Once there, simply scroll down to the bottom to see the Upload function. Please keep in mind you can only upload 1 document at a time.
As mentioned earlier, as we were developing the new program submission process, we kept in mind feedback received from CFP professionals who didn't feel Find a CE program offered enough information. In the Enhanced tool, we'll provide a printable list of current CE sponsors, which is now available on the website on the Continuing Education page and updated each month. We will send you the link to this current document in our follow-up email after the webinar. The enhancements will give users the option to search by subtitles, or subtypes rather, access URLs, taking them directly to your program or registration page, as well as accessing conference details for associated programs. Let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the new checkout features. Our current payment system is not exactly intuitive or necessarily reliable, so we went back to baseline and started over. With the new portal, you'll now be able to select programs for payment when you're ready to check out, allowing you to control what is paid when. Immediate access to credits and the ability to apply those credits in your account to your current transaction. You'll no longer have to reach out to us to apply the credit on your behalf. And you'll also have immediate access to invoices with the ability to download, print, or save the more detailed program invoices.
Adding a program to your cart is as easy as putting a check in the pay box and clicking Add to Cart. Once in the shopping cart and after confirming your billing details, you can apply any credit you have on your account and select your payment type. After confirming your billing details, you will click Submit Order to finish the payment process. Click on the invoice number for immediate access to a printable receipt.
Our renewal process has always been awkward and cumbersome. We tackled that hurdle head-on and created what is a simple 4-step process. Sponsorship and program renewals can now be completed in minutes. You will start adding programs for next year immediately after paying your sponsorship renewal.
The CE renewal period will open annually in the 3rd week of October. When you receive the announcement that the renewal period is open, you will log in and pay your sponsorship fee. Step 1, log into your account. Step 2, add the sponsorship fee to your account and complete checkout. Step 3, select the programs you would like to renew and add to your cart for payment. Step 4, finish the checkout process. You will now be able to begin submitting new programs for the next year. Any program not renewed by mid-January will be switched to inactive. The process is that simple.
Let's talk a little bit about a few changes for 2018. We hope you'll agree that they will be welcome changes. The first is the CE sponsorship fees will remain the same as they are this year, $500 for a for-profit organization and $250 for a nonprofit organization. There will only be one sponsorship type next year. The Ethics CE sponsorship category has been deleted. We have also made substantial changes to the way in which we will administer CFP Board Ethics courses in 2018. While we won't go into any of the details in this webinar, we will be doing a webinar on Wednesday, August 2nd to go over the changes. If your organization has any interest in offering CFP Board Ethics next year, this is a must-attend webinar. As is our practice, a recording and information sheet will be available online once the live webinar is complete. So we have a number of questions because that concludes the formal part of the webinar. So hopefully just from some of the images that we've showed you, you'll agree that the experience that you'll have, not only in paying your membership, but also in entering new programs and paying for new programs, will be much, much easier. So we have a couple of questions. The first question is someone indicated that they might have to leave early and asked whether or not a recording would be available afterward. Absolutely. We will have a recording probably available within a week. And when we follow up with you in the next few days, we'll also be sending you some additional information. Marianne asked, can an organization have more than one contact person?
Currently in our system, there's only one individual that has access to the sponsorship. There's many other options to go through if you have to have multiple people enter into the sponsorship account, and that can be discussed if you send us an email and we can discuss those options with you.
Kim asked a question as well. Will we receive a confirmation of the program once active, or do we need to check the Manage Program section? We're changing that this year, and because it is now transparent, we are going to ask you to check the Manage Program section. Manage Program section will give you everything that you'll need, and you know exactly where your program is in the review process at any given time. We've been completing reviews within 2 to 3 business days, and that's pretty much been standard and something that you can count on. Danielle asked, I've had trouble finding the list of learning objectives on your site. Can you let me know where to locate the current version of that list? We think that you're referring to ethics, CFP board ethics?
Or the principal knowledge topic.
Or the principal knowledge topics.
Either one, we can definitely reach out to you and send you an email with the links to those and specifically where to find them on the website.
Mm-hmm. So we'll take care of that for you, Danielle. Make sure you get to the right place. Lisa asked, will this webinar run again later in the year closer to renewal? Absolutely. In fact, associated with our next quarter newsletter, we'll start talking about the renewal process. We'll have some dates available for you. And in addition, we'll go through the renewal process, which literally is as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4. Hasika and I did it in testing, and we were pretty surprised and actually pleasantly pleased at how easy and seamless the process was. Lou asked a question. Do we have to go back in and update a live webcast or self-study, or is it assumed that it will turn over to self-study once it's been offered live? We won't be making those assumptions. Once you have the live webinar complete, if in fact you'd like to make it a self-study by adding the assessment questions, you'll just enter that information again. The program submission process actually is very quick. It should just take you a minute or two to add those details. We've now created a series of checkboxes. You'll easily be able to copy and paste the description and the learning objectives, and you'll resubmit that webinar as a self-study when it's ready.
We have a question from Leslie. We are offering a conference that is both live, in person, and simulcast. Can we check 2 boxes on the delivery method, or do we need to submit this program twice, one for in-person and one for live simulcast?
Well, interestingly enough, good question. What I would say in all honesty is that if you're doing a live simulcast, you'll be able to essentially mark attendance, if you will, and treat it just like you would the live program. We'd have to double check to see if there's a field to add some additional information. I don't think there necessarily is, but in the description that you give for your conference, You could indicate that there is a live simulcast that's associated with it. And when you provide the conference URL for us to advertise with that particular activity, again, that'll take the CFP professional directly to your site.
We have a question from Holly Ross. If your conference has concurrent sessions, do you need to enter each session separately? You do not need to enter each session separately if it's concurrent. What you can do is you can submit a program application for breakout session 1 and submit each session that's under that particular one. You're more than welcome to. I can definitely reach out to you to speak more in detail about it and just the submission process if you would like, and I can definitely arrange that.
And as we were going through the conference process as well, again, if all of the sessions in your conference are in fact eligible for CFP credit, we can accredit the conference as opposed to individual sessions or programs. So again, if you have any question about that, just reach out to us and we'll be able to assist you with that. Charles asked, when will the new web design be rolled out? We actually have a meeting tomorrow with our IT group where we'll be identifying the date. Tentatively, like I said, we're looking for the first part of July, but we'll give you a little bit of a heads up. We know that any change to the current portal will be a welcome one. And again, once you log into your account and actually see it and start using it, it's fairly simple. Lou said, looks awesome, can't wait for all the new features. We kind of agree with you. We're looking forward to it as well. We really are. Richard asked, if you pay by check, do you still use add to cart?
There's one or two ways. If a check is processed, it's usually applied directly to the invoice that you list when you send over the check. But in most cases, the check is applied as credit to your account, and therefore when you go through the checkout process, you'll be able to use that credit to offset the invoice. Mm-hmm.
So what we'll do with the new portal is that essentially this program would sit in the managed program area, and it would show as unpaid until the check was received. And as the SICA indicated, that credit would be accessed to your account. What you might want to do, too, if you're paying by check, is just to give us a heads up so that we can be on the lookout and let you know when that credit would be available. That should be a fairly quick process. So programs that are not paid will actually remain in that not paid status for up to 30 days. And on day 31, that program will drop off and you'll need to re-enter it. So again, the question was asked when the version will go live. We don't have a specific date until our meeting tomorrow, and we'll send an update to everyone. The question is, when will we need to begin using the new features for getting programs approved? When it goes live, it'll go live for everyone. And it's at that point that any programs that she'll be entering will go through the new system. Any programs that you have currently paid for and are in the system will ensure that, in fact, everything is cleared out so that it's a fairly seamless transition for us.
We have a question from Kim. We sponsor a seminar once a year in the fall. I believe we pay our sponsorship fee just prior to that time and then submit our new program. Will we have to change our timeline on that, or will we be able to do this a couple of months prior to the seminar?
You'll actually be able to. So what we're making the assumption is that you typically don't renew your sponsorship in the January timeframe. And that's okay. Your sponsorship, when you log into your account, will show as inactive, and you won't have the ability to enter a new program until the sponsorship fee is satisfied. At that point, it's a simple email to us, and we can reactivate the account for you and make that invoice available for you to go online and to make payment. Once the payment is received, you'll be able to go ahead and add your seminar.
We have a question from Jenny. Do webinars and classroom courses need to be filed separately? If they are both live in a live setting, then they do not need to be submitted separately. They will both fall under the live requirements for our delivery method.
Mm-hmm.
We have one more question, or a question from Lou. Are we paying twice then, one for live and one for self-study? Correct. Both delivery methods require their own applications because they both have separate requirements.
Sarah asked, can you please repost your contact information shown at the beginning of the webinar? Oh, absolutely. And we'll also, again, be sending everyone an email so you'll have our contact information. You can always reach us at cesponsor@cfpboard.org.
We have a question from Mary. We have a symposium this fall, and I've already received approval for about half of the programs, and the other half need to be applied for, and will most likely be filed after the new system is up. Will this be a problem? No, not at all. It should be pretty seamlessly, the process moving over. I don't imagine any roadblocks for you. I think you should be good to go.
And I just wanted to bring up contact information for you so you have it. And these are our email addresses where you can reach either one of us and we can answer any questions that you have. It doesn't look like we have any more questions. Oh, wait, we do. I might have missed it, but can you choose more than one delivery platform per course? You can only select one delivery platform per course. So if in fact you had a live webinar, you would submit the live webinar, and then when the program was ready for self-study, you would resubmit it as a self-study course. We don't have any additional questions. Again, just want to promise you that, in fact, we will be following up, and thank you very much for participating. Like I said, that follow-up will occur probably right after the 4th of July, if not sooner, and we will include a couple of links. One link in particular, I think I mentioned earlier that we're now providing access to a list of all CE sponsors, so we'll definitely make sure you know where that is. And again, any information that we can provide, we will provide in our follow-up and thank you email. So again, please reach out to us if you have any additional questions. We're here to help. We're excited about the new CE sponsor portal coming online, and we just really know that you're going to love it. So again, thank you very much for participating.